this video, we're going to use MIMS Configuration MIMS Mobile add-in to configure MIMS Mobile Graphical Work Design in Release 2020. Start by selecting a configuration group where the design task will reside. If necessary, override the data configuration to begin. Let's select the design feature service we created. We're creating electrical design tasks, so we'll choose the design lookup table and electric design features. Next, let's add the electric layers. And finally, the land-based layers. Check the layer order and click the Save button. Now let's open the Design panel. If necessary, override the design configuration. Click the Add New Design button to insert the task template. We're creating an electric design, so I'm going to change the default task name to something more suitable. I can enter a description if I want. Both the task name and description are visible in the MIMS Mobile Design task list. Although defaults are checked, determine whether confirmation is required for various actions. Expand the bottom two panes to alter user interface options and advanced settings. All fields have defaults, and changes should not be required. However, accessibility to these settings are provided for customization. Expand the design task to expose the layers wireframe, compatible units, and red lines. Select the wireframe layer to access the layer settings. Line bendable filter should be a string that is used in the layer name to distinguish a bendable line. In our case, UG for underground line will do. We'll choose a CU table with our electric features. And our common work function table. Snap layers are those layers we wish our design layers to snap to when placed on the map. In case of multiple snap layers, the closest snap layer wins. Work location modifiers allow the MIMS administrator to specify prefix and suffix of work location numbers. In our case, I want WL to precede the work location number and 0 to follow the number. Expand the wireframe to expose the layer's work location, span, and work area. Select the work location layer to view the work location settings. Choose the incremental data where the work location layer resides. Choose the work location layer. Choose the field that will store the design ID, and choose the work location name field. User and date field names specify who and when the work location was created. Allow attachments is enabled and can be checked if the layer selected in the work location layer has attachments enabled in ArcMap. User interface options and advanced settings are available if customization is necessary. Select the span layer to view the layer settings. Choose an incremental source that contains the span layer. Choose a layer to represent a span, and select the field that will store the design ID. All spans start and end with the work location. Choose the fields that will store the start and end values. Although length and angle fields are optional, they provide value to the design. User date and name fields specify who and when the span was created. User interface options and advanced settings are available if customization is necessary. Select the work area to view the layer settings. Choose the data source where the work area layer resides. Choose the work area layer. Select the field that will store the design ID. User and date field names specify who and when the work area was created. Allow attachments is enabled and can be checked. User interface options and advanced settings are available if customization is necessary. Expand the wireframe layer to set field options. Standard field plugins are available. The static field of design ID is set by default. All wireframe layers provide the same field options. Expand all layers to ensure field configuration is correct. Select the Compatible Units layer to view all settings. The page is separated into 3 segments: Compatible Unit Reference Layers, Required Compatible Unit Fields, Optional Compatible Unit Fields. To the far right of the segment caption is a question mark. Hover the mouse to display information about the segment. Start by first selecting the point layer and linear layer fields. Once all references are complete, continue by entering the Design ID field. Fields containing the CU code and CU description. In this case, it's our construction standard code and description. Work function field defines the field where the work function value is stored. Point work location defines the field to store the name of the work location point. Lines must have a start and finish work location. The fields that will store the references to these work locations is stored here. Although the rest of the fields are optional, the angle and length fields provide value. When finished, press the Click to Add CU Layers button to generate new CU layers. Expand the Compatible Units layer to see the newly created CU layers pulled from the Design Electric tables. Select a CU layer to expose the settings page. Note, only Allow Attachments is available. User interface options and advanced settings are available for customization. Expand the CU layer and set field options. Standard field plugins are available. A static field copy on Design ID is set by default. All wireframe layers provide the same field options. Select red lines and check all layers that will participate as red lines in the design. Red lines are optional, but necessary to round out a toolbox for a GIS designer. Choose the optional Advanced Text Editor for the callout feature. Expand the redline node to view the newly created redline layers. Select a layer to view the settings. Defaults are already set. Display field number 1 is a required field. Choose a field. The additional display feature menu has the ability to choose a second display field with separator. User interface options and advanced settings are available if customizations are necessary. Continue with each layer, setting the required and optional display fields. Expand the layer to view field options. Standard field copy plugins are available. A static field copy on Design ID is set by default. When finished, we're done configuring an electric design task. Before we wrap up, there's a couple more things I'd like to show you about the Design Configuration panel. Selecting a node in the Design Task list exposes row action tools. Each node may provide a different tool set. The plus to the right of the Design Layer Compatible Units provides the means to add a new layer to the layer list. Select the new layer to set the required settings. Note the Delete tool is available for the new layer. Click to delete the selected layer. Also, up and down arrows to order the layers. Delete and reorder tools are provided for both compatible units and redlines. The Save button is in the top right corner. Export the group design tasks to configuration files. Select or create a new folder to save the configuration. Let's delete the task we just configured. And import the configuration we just exported. Select the Design Configuration file and the Edit Configuration file. The configuration is imported and loaded to the Design Task Editor. Save the configuration changes, and we're done.